Hello everyone, welcome to the Tales of the Orient, where we dive into the mysterious and enchanting stories from the heart of Thailand. I'm your host, Bert. Today we have a spine-chilling tale about a ghost sighting in a small village temple. But before we get into the story, let's set the scene. Main story: in 1978, in the heart of Bangkok, the land that was said to be as beautiful as the abode of angels and goddesses, hence the name Bangkok. But it is believed that in those days, the city was said to be beautiful, but in the nooks and crannies of Bangkok, there were still small communities scattered throughout the city. The development in those days was just beginning to take shape. Most people had migrated from the countryside in search of a way to survive, thinking that Bangkok had opportunities waiting for them. Chao Koh, a 4-year-old boy, was born in a community in the middle of Bangkok, but his family had migrated from Phra Nakhon Sayutthaya province. However, the reason for the migration of Chao Koh's family may not have been the same as other families who migrated. Chao Koh's family was not poor. Chao Koh's grandfather was a kamnan, sub-district headman. We will tell this story in the next episode. The community where Chao Koh lived was a riverside community near Victory Monument. In those days, it was still possible to row a boat from the front of the house to Victory Monument. Or, if on a good day one had to go to the doctor, it was still possible to row a boat to Bangkok Canal Hospital. The water was also clear and clean. It was common to see villagers fishing by the river. As for land transportation, there was no need to talk about it. There was only one bus every now and then. Most of the villagers who had a little bit of money, if they didn't want to wait for the bus, would take a motorized tricycle. Those with less money would take a pedicab. This was a blessing for people in those days. Back to the story of Chao Koh, a little boy with big eyes and a buzz cut. He was a child who everyone in the house was quite fond of because he was the youngest grandson of the house. Chao Koh had an older sister who was 5 years older than him, named Nok, and a mother who raised both children alone. This was because Chao Koh's father had left to start a new family since Chao Koh was not even a year old. However, Chao Koh did not feel any lack of warmth because the family was a large family. Relatives of his mother built houses next to each other as a community, all of whom had migrated from Phra Nakhon Sayutthaya province as well. In Chao Koh's house, there was also a grandmother, uncles, aunts, and many other relatives. Everyone loved Chao Koh, especially his grandmother, who spoiled him the most. Therefore, when it came to mischief, Chao Koh was the one to be reckoned with, even though he was only 4 years old. He was known for disappearing to play at other people's houses, playing in the water and mud even though he couldn't swim yet, and many other naughty things that Chao Koh gave Grandma a headache every day because Mother had to leave Koh with Grandma before going to sell curry at the horse racing track. She wouldn't return until it was dark every day. If there was a day when she didn't go to sell food, it meant that Koh was sick and May had to take him to the doctor regularly. Because Koh was born with a weak body, it was the reason for keeping his hair long, a traditional Thai belief for children with weak health. Psst. Today shall we invite Phi Mu and Phi Siam to play in the canal? The rain is stopping now, Koh whispered in Phi Nok's ear, trying to avoid being heard by Grandmother, who was busy grating coconuts in the kitchen. No, Grandma will beat us to death. Just sleep, don't try to invite them. If Grandma comes and doesn't see us, we'll get it again, Nok said while pulling a blanket over her younger brother. The rain made the weather cool and comfortable. Soon, the mischievous Koh fell asleep. Grandma came over and saw both grandchildren sleeping, shaking her head slightly. Finally, you're asleep. I'm so tired of you too, Grandma muttered before returning to the kitchen to prepare curry paste for Prepay, her daughter and the mother of the 2 sleeping children. A soft whisper came from the windowsill. Nok, are you awake yet? Nok lifted her head to look towards the open window. It was Mu and Siam who had come to call her quietly. Where are you going? Grandma will be here soon, Nok whispered back to her inseparable friends. Let's go play shop by the canal. Koh is asleep, isn't he? The rain has stopped. Let's go. Yesterday, Mu's father bought a new set of toy pots and pans. Let's play with them, Siam said, lifting the new toy set to show Nok. Okay, let's go. But just for a little while. If Koh wakes up, Yai will complain again that I don't help take care of him. Nok quietly slipped out from under the blanket, trying not to wake the mischievous Koh, who always caused trouble when Nok wanted to play with her friends. By the canal, the three of them collected water hyacinth floating along the edge. They helped each other pick and put them in pots, pretending to be cooking and selling food. They took turns being the vendor and the customer, having fun in the way children of that era did, finding joy in simple things. Shopkeeper, shopkeeper, what do you have to eat today? Mew and Siam asked the shopkeeper, who at the moment was Nok. I have chicken curry with rice noodles. It's delicious. Would you like some? Nok, acting as the shopkeeper, picked up a small plate filled with chopped water hyacinth and handed it to her customers. They reached out to take it and pretended to eat it with delight. It's so delicious, shopkeeper. What kind of drinks do you have today? Longan juice, sweet longan juice. Nok picked up a glass and was about to hand it to her two friends. Suddenly, Nok, Mew, Siam. A shout came from afar, causing all three of them to turn and look at the same time. Ai Koh, the three exclaimed in unison. You've come again, even after sneaking away from Yai. We'll all get in trouble together. You guys snuck away without inviting me. When May comes, I'll tell her that you left me to play by yourselves. Koh said with a sly look at his older siblings, as if he were the victor. Okay, come on. And don't tattle. Let's play together. Nok grumbled, unable to argue with her mischievous younger brother. I'll go get more longan juice. Koh grabbed a glass to fetch water from the canal instead of longan juice to play with his siblings. Before anyone could stop him, Koh rushed to the canal bank. Suddenly, splash, a loud sound like an object being thrown into the water. Everyone turned to look at the source of the sound at the same time. Ai Koh fell into the water. Everyone shouted at the top of their lungs simultaneously. Koh had fallen into the water due to the slippery ground from the rain. He lost his balance and fell in. Grandma! May! Somebody! Ai Koh fell into the water. The three siblings shouted in shock because their younger brother was still small and couldn't swim, and neither could they. Oh my! What's happening? Hey! Someone please help Ai Koh. He fell into the water. Yai shouted in panic, almost fainting at the thought of her beloved grandson leaving before his time. Splash! Splash! Ta Quan, who was also an uncle of Koh, jumped into the canal immediately, along with 4 or 5 other villagers. Did you find him? Several voices asked in a worried mix, while Yai, needless to say, sat on her knees, crying and calling for her grandson by the canal. Found him! Everyone turned to look at Ta Quan, who emerged from the water with Koh's body. Everyone who saw Koh's body cried out in shock because he was unconscious and his chest was sunken in alarmingly due to hitting a stump of an old bridge underwater. Ai Koh, take him to the hospital quickly. Take him to the hospital, Yai shouted, mixed with sobs, like someone about to lose their mind. Then, Koh's body was rushed onto a motorized tricycle, along with Yai, who held her beloved grandson in her embrace the entire time. In those days, there were no ambulances, not even foundation vehicles. Villagers had to help each other as best they could. Cut to the hospital, people were in chaos, including Koh's relatives. Prepay, his mother, ran after. Upon arriving at the emergency room, the mother screamed and cried as if she were about to lose her mind. Are you the child's mother? The doctor wants you to be prepared. The child has been submerged for a long time and has suffered severe injuries, including a broken sternum. We don't yet know if any internal organs have been punctured. The doctor told the mother with little hope. The hearts of the mother and grandmother nearly shattered as they fainted in the middle of the room. The nurses had to scramble to revive both of them, causing a chaotic scene. At the same time, Mom! Grandma! Pick me up, Mom! Wah! Koh sat hugging his mother and grandmother, crying in fear, not understanding why they were ignoring him and only crying. Mom! Pick me up! I'm cold. I want to go home. Wah! Koh felt increasingly scared, a fear gripping the heart of a 4-year-old facing such a situation. But the chilling events didn't end there. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the room darkened, even though all the lights were on. Smoke filled the air as if someone had lit a charcoal stove, and the smell became foul. Koh wanted to get out of there immediately. Suddenly, his eyes caught sight of something that terrified him to the core. The figure of a thin, dark man, head bowed so low that it almost touched the floor, eyes fixed on Koh, was walking towards him. Closer and closer, until his face was almost touching Koh's, the stench of vomit filling the air. "Mom! Mom! I'm scared. Someone, Mom!" But the mother showed no signs of paying attention to Koh. The last thing Koh decided to do was run out of that place to find help outside the room. "Help! Help me! Wah!" Koh ran almost frantically out of the room and down the stairs. Along the way, he saw many people, some sitting, some standing, all with a vacant look like people who had lost all hope. But as soon as they saw Koh, they changed. Everyone Koh saw started walking towards the desperate little boy. Koh cried until he was almost out of breath. "Mom! Grandma! Help me! I'm scared!" Koh's tears streamed down his cheeks, both exhausted and hopeless. Suddenly, a blinding light appeared, along with a large man with dark skin. "Get away from here right now!" The large man pointed at the figures of those people. Instantly, everyone disappeared, and the dim atmosphere returned to normal. "Are you all right, little one? Don't be afraid. No one can hurt you here in my house." The large man gently picked up Koh. Koh immediately felt warmth, and the fear from earlier vanished. "Uncle, please take me to my mom. I want to go home now," Koh said to the man, feeling safe and secure. "All right, little one, I'll take you there. But you have to promise me you'll be a good boy and become a monk for your mother and grandmother," the big man said as he lifted the clumsy boy up the building to the front of the room where the boy had run. In front of the room, the mother and grandmother were wiping their tears. They heard Uncle Kwan say, "All right, I'll go contact what Saphan Ta. Tomorrow morning, I'll take him there." The mother didn't say anything, just cried and wailed. "Uncle, uncle, that's my mom. Take me to her. I want to go home, uncle." The boy pointed at his mother. All right, you can go home soon, but I have to take you somewhere first." The big man took the boy, walking through the unopened door to the end of the bed where a child was lying with tubes and wires all over him. "Who is that, uncle? Why is he lying there?" the boy asked the big man innocently. The big man chuckled softly. "Are you ready to go home yet?" The boy nodded slightly. Suddenly, the big man grabbed the boy and threw him onto the child lying on the bed. Doctor, the child's pulse is back." And that was the last thing the boy heard. His eyes opened, seeing the bright light until they hurt, and then closed again from exhaustion. And that was the death of the boy. From now on, how will the boy's life change? Stay tuned. The story of their separation and the hope that kept them going became an inspiration to many. It was a testament to the strength of a mother's love and the resilience of the human spirit. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the mystical world of Thailand's folklore. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will explore another intriguing tale. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with us. You've been listening to The Tales of the Orient. I'm your host, Bert. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your spirit curious. Goodbye.